So my Jeep has basically come together really well for the winter. Lights on, hardtop on, bed-lined interior. The frame is, you know, nearly 100% coated in PR15. The only place that's missing is on the upper back undercarriage and uh, on top of the frame, where it's very difficult to reach. And the best way I've decided to do that is I'm going to take a rag, dip it in PR15, and stick it over the top and wipe it down. It'll be a little tricky, a little awkward, but I think it'll work out. And other than a few areas like this that I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with yet, because I still want to be able to reach into here to lock the fender flares down, is one area. And also up here, I actually want to get in here where you can see this little gap here. And I want to hit the tub here. This is actually the tub with either PR15 and or Plasti Dip. I haven't quite decided yet, but I do want to cover that area so it's black so you don't see that there because it's a little aesthetic, though. I like the whole thing being black underneath. And also I won't have to worry about, you can see up there where it was starting to get to on the outside of the tub from this side. Mostly the plastic piece protects it from all the sand and water and crap that gets kicked up from the tires. Other than that, there's also the drums here, which I was told a long time ago would be okay if I VR15 these, and I do want to get back in there and do that and get the whole coil spring and anything else. There's just a couple of little areas I missed that were difficult to get to, I couldn't quite do, but just the coil springs, the drums on the back, and kind of the insides of the tires. I'm not sure what about those I can actually coat or not coat, but I'm gonna look into that. And other than that, that's basically all I wanted for winter. I mean, you gotta, I mean, the inside, the top, I did want to do it again, but I've already got the top on, so it's kind of too late. And you know what, I don't need to think about it anymore, because other than just the aesthetic things like this, it's good, it's really nice. Yeah, I scratched it in a few places over time, but it's a little dark right now, obviously, but between this and the top, it's gonna be so warm, I don't have to worry about water, any rust getting through here. I'm just compared to how it was last year, it's a huge difference. I'm looking much more forward to this. It's much more the way I envisioned it. I'm very happy with it, despite the little things that I still want to go through and touch up again. So the front is basically done with the lights and everything. The bumper, I couldn't be happier. And the only place I have left to do is the back here. Now you can see I took off the where the third tail light and tire mount is. I've had the spare tire off for a while because my spare tire is actually it's a 30. It's a Goodyear 30, and I wish all my tires were like this, but these are. What tire size did I get for these? I got the what was most affordable and would look good on the Jeep was yep, here we go, P23 75R15 Wrangler radials, and I like those. But this tire, this was on the Jeep. When I got the Jeep, the tires were absolutely worn down. There were no treads left. That was awful. Just my spare, which had obviously never been used, and the this was actually one of the other rims, because this, when I got this changed out, they offered to turn this into my spare and put the spare tire on this rim, because there was that, and that's not good. And ideally, I should probably never need the spare. I would, obviously never hope to, and I've seen Jeeps take off the back, and to be honest with you, I really like the way the back of the Jeep looks with no third tail light or anything. But I do like having the third tail light, and mounting the tire is a good thing to have on there. I'm not going to untake it off, because then I'd have to figure out what to do with this. I think later models like O2s to O6s, and then obviously JKs are different, have a different kind of thing here. But this is more like the older. Actually, the YJs have this. I actually have a couple of these in a box up there somewhere. And I actually kind of want to take these off too and paint them up when I hopefully eventually repaint everything else. But for now, I just took this off because there was a bunch of sand behind this. There was a bunch of sand crap. And I also realized it's going to be difficult for you to see it, but you can actually tell right there. See how the mat has actually slid down? I don't know if it slid down over time or if they put it on wrong in the factory. It just seems pretty sloppy, and it was actually really starting to bug me because I've had the tire off the whole summer, so you could clearly see it, this little piece here. See how it disappears here like it's supposed to be like this? And then it kind of pops out like they didn't put it on right, or it slid down or something. I did PR15 a lot of this, just lazy PR15 just to try and get it. One of the bolts popped out of here. I already went over that, and the rest of these bolts are really starting to already get rusty. So I'm probably not gonna do it right now, but I really need to PR15 this whole piece of metal here, and I really wish this could be detached. This seems like a really weird that you can't detach this. Maybe you can. Maybe I'm just like looking at it wrong, but I couldn't find a way. And painting this, cleaning this out and painting this would be nice. Match up with the smoked lights. Look much better. I actually kind of like, these have kind of faded a little bit, the guards, but I actually almost kind of like it because it kind of gives it still that like smokier look as opposed to like a complete matte or a gloss. But back to here, the only thing I was really gonna do here is cut this, and then I was gonna put it back on for now just so it looks more even. Like I said, there was a lot of dirt back here, and need to PR15 that. And the only other thing is I sanded this down real good. This is like the end of the frame where these rubber plugs come on. You can see this here. The rear bumper actually mounts to this, and I did get it off, and I sanded this whole thing down, and I coated it twice actually, and it was really nice, really smooth. But obviously the only problem is, I mean, I'd like to leave it like this so I didn't have to worry about, someone tailgating me or something. Not that I would like to think that would happen, but, there wouldn't be a whole lot in between there. That's why I kind of want the bumper back on. I just kind of like the way it's, like, curved more, and you can see more of the tire. Something about it I like, the back there. But I got the bumper here. I coated the entire back bumper in PR15, and then I plastic dipped it because if I put the bumper back on, which is PR15, it'll fade. That's one of the things, obviously, for doing my frame with PR15, I wasn't so worried. But ever since doing anything else, I'm like, oh, I can just touch that with PR15. It'll look nice. It'll turn out gloss black. And then you got to remember, it's going to fade after a while because if you look at my the front, it's just a good example. You can see that got faded there. That's what it should look like in the back, all black. And that's not the sun on it right now. That's just, it literally is faded over time because it's so exposed to the sun. Any PR15 that is exposed to the sun will fade to that kind of like gray, almost like a gray black. Not nice, not a really nice looking color at all. So I am going to put the bumper back on, and I did have it back on, but this is good. I do want to bedline this in the long run, but I figured for now, you know what, it's silly just to try and bedline one thing, so I just figured I had the whole thing coated in PR15. I'll plastic dip it, and the beautiful thing about plastic dip is just work it a little bit, and eventually I can just peel the whole thing off again. So I'm probably going to get more plastic dip in the future. That's nice stuff to have around. And now it's just here where I'm wondering, if I put the bumper back on now, still parts of this can be seen, like this part will be covered, but the entire top here will be exposed, and then we'll have like gray here, then black here where it's covered. So I'm trying to decide what I want to do with that. I could just leave it alone. It's not a big deal, and I could recoat it again in the future. But no matter what I do, no matter what kind of bumper I put on, whether I leave it off, obviously it'll get the whole thing. It's too bad I can't just leave it like this because I really like the way it looks like that. But I'm going to figure out what to do with that. And yeah, that's just me putting thoughts together of everything coming together for everything I wanted to do for winter. I had somewhat of a year to do it, and I pretty much hit every benchmark I wanted to on the head. So I'm gonna figure out what I want to do with those few last things. I want to do a video on a compilation of how far this Jeep has come, everything I've done to it since I picked it up, because other than the paint on the body, it almost is unrecognizable, which is really nice. So for now, I'm just gonna mull over what I'm gonna do on those things, and then I'll get back to you on what I'll actually do.